Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Penguin Academy news update. Today, Warhammer community have released certain things for Blood Bowl third season, and one of those things are the things we're going to look at now, which is the tier list for their matched play rules. I'm telling you now, it's nonsense. Like that, you can watch the rest of the video, but the conclusion at the end is it's nonsense. Absolute and total nonsense. There will be chat on screen. This is from a live stream, not a video made specifically for YouTube, but so sorry about that. But you do get to see other people weigh in. That's why it's Penguin Academy. It's not just me. So let's start by looking at the tiers. This is the tier list that they think. I can probably make this a bit bigger, right? No, maybe not. Okay, there we go. we'll go through each of the tiers, and I'll tell you where they probably should be and why they definitely shouldn't be where they are. Amazon's absolutely tier 1. Haven't been nerfed much. Slight nerfs, but also some slight buffs in there. Break tackle buff for the big girls is pretty good. Tier 1, definitely. Chorfs, maybe tier 1, probably tier 2. Still good, slight buffs, so I could see them being like tier 1.5 or something, but that doesn't exist, so I'm fine with that. Dark Elves, absolutely not. Tier 1 is ridiculous. Nerfed. The Amazon, they're just taking dodge, right? If we're assuming you can just take dodge, and the problem is they can only take 4 dodge, because that's the rule in the match play rules in the rule book. So, yeah. They're rubbish. Definitely shouldn't be in tier 1. Maybe tier 2. Probably tier 2. I don't think they're tier 3. Dwarves. Yeah, get out. Are you kidding me? What are dwarves doing in tier 1? They got nerfed into the ground. Tier 2. Probably tier 3. The biggest problem with dwarves is they can't afford the thing that they need, which is the death roller. And Games Workshop's matched play doesn't even give you any extra money when you drop tiers. So dwarves are screwed wherever they go. The only reason to put dwarves in tier 1 is people don't like dwarves. That's it. But they don't come with mass tackle now, so they don't even hard counter other teams. One of the reasons that dwarves are in tier 1 a lot in actual tabletop rules, none of whom ever use match play from Games Workshop, is that putting dwarves well tiered and encouraging people to play dwarves discourages people from playing dodge-based teams and agi teams. And nobody wants their tournament to be just all orcs, lizards, and necro. So dwarves get dumped in tier 1 to put people off from taking them, so that they get more elves, amazons, they get more stunties. Things that people actually like to see and have fun with. So, but that doesn't mean Games Workshop should do it. And now they don't have mass tackle, they should just be out. We're like tier 2, tier 3, probably. Rubbish. High Elves, I mean, I don't even know why they're on the list. High Elves were dropped. I can put that in here because I'm not going to make a High Elf video because it's this. The High Elf team was dropped. It's the current High Elf team. They've done nothing to it. It's kind of accidentally buffed because it still has 4 catchers. So there we go. However, it's an elf team that doesn't start with dodge. So again, you can't take more than 4 dodge. Oh, I don't know when I muted myself then to cough. Sorry. High Elves should be in tier 2. Lizardmen tier 1. Sure, it's fine. Norse tier 1. Sure, it's fine for NAF style. Could have dropped him to tier 2. Wouldn't have been too bad. Old World Alliance. I mean, even Games Workshop know what they did to Old World Alliance. It just dumped straight up into tier 1. Underworld, probably, maybe tier 2. Wood Elves, again, probably tier 2. But tier 1 is okay because they're the ones with start with dodge. So the Agi team that's least nerfed. Burts, tier 2, probably. Tier 2 is where you dump all the midland teams, right? You don't need to drop things like Burts that aren't very good down into tier 3. You could, however, drop Pro Elves and Humans down into tier 3. They're in the same boat. They both got, like, comedy nerfed. Anyone who thinks Fumble Rooski is a buff is a lunatic. So they could have gone into tier 3 to maybe make them viable with more skills, more secondaries. Imp Knobs were buffed, so can be in tier 2. Necro should be in tier 1. Buffs across the board. Crazy that they're down in tier 2. Orcs, crazy that they're down in tier 2. Buffs across the board. All losing positionals doesn't matter so much when the positionals you have left get buffed out the wazoo, and you have team captain. Tier 1, definitely for Orcs. Undead, tier 1. Why are they in tier 2? Also buffed. Crazy. Rats, nerfed. Could have gone in tier 3. Fine. Tomb Kings, I think, are tier 1. Tomb Kings, buffed. I don't understand why you'd release... I don't understand why you'd release a box set, which is Burts versus Tomb Kings, tell you they're good, and then release a tier list that tells you they're both tier 2. Please buy the box set. We've included 2 crappy teams. They're wrong anyway. Tomb Kings are probably tier 1. Vampires tier 2 does make them slightly better, but not a lot. Black Orcs could be in tier 2. Black Orcs have a slight buff, but tier 3 is decent. Chaos, Renegades, and Khorne probably where they are. Starting with no skills, they need something. And remember that they can only take 4 of something, so 4 block, whatever. Nurgle could go in tier 2. Nurgle were buffed. Straight up buffed. And they don't actually need all of that, like extra block or whatever now, right? They can just stick guard on a couple of bloaters. So tier 2 for Nurgle. And then Gnomes, Goblins, Halflings, and Ogres, definitely tier 4. Goblins might be the best of these stunty teams. You notice I only named the first 4. Those are the stunty teams. I get that people call Snotlings a stunty team. I'll talk about them in a second. So even though Goblins are probably now the best of those 4 stunty teams, with the buffs that they got, they're still stunty teams. They need everything they can get. What they do need is money. The match play rules from Games Workshop are rubbish. They don't give you any more money as you drop down the tiers, and the tier 4 teams need star players, which they need money to buy. Now, let's talk about probably the most outrageous tiering on this, Snotlings. I don't know why Games Workshop thinks Snotlings are just another stunty team. Absolutely insane. Snotlings are a real team with a real win rate. They should be tier 2. They're the only one on this entire list that you should probably change 2 tiers. Maybe Dwarves could go down 2 tiers. But everything else maybe bump up and down. Snotlings are good. Like, I don't know, they're not a stunty team. They're good. They were good before they got buffed. And now they're buffed and top. It's wild. So yeah, like maybe the money thing screws them, because again, the problem with these rules and talking about them in the tier list is nobody uses them. And no tabletop tournament uses Games Workshop's tiers or match play rules because they've always been rubbish. Every tournament uses their own. All very similar to one another. Tier lists all very similar to one another. And they're not similar to this. Like, because people who actually play Blood Bowl understand how nonsense this is. Don't tell people, Hydra, just in case. So Snotlings were buffed no secret weapon on the pump wagons, so you can use the bribes to foul, right? Normally, if you take pump wagons, which they don't because of that, Now you can take pump wagons because they don't get sent off. So they don't need your bribes. They don't particularly get removed. Their armor 9+, and you can have enough at tier 4. You have enough skill points to have like 2 block trolls, or a block, or something else on one of the pile drive on one of the pump wagons, and then you can put pile driver on the other one. One of the few uses for pile driver there's ever been is because they don't get sent off, so you don't need to keep your bribes. So as it's got Juggernaut to blitz, you can blitz with it, and then if the Mighty Blow doesn't get it, you can foul with the assists of the things that you put in to make it a 3 dice. So 2 Snotlings in for a 3 dice, you get +2 assists to the foul. Go nuts. Set it up in advance for a blitz into foul. And still leaves you skills. Unfortunately, you don't have money. That's the problem. You don't have money, so maybe you can't afford like Skitter to carry the ball or something. But it does leave you skills. You can still have a Snotling to carry the ball. You can give it Sure Hands even if you want. I don't know. Anyway, Snotling's way out. It's crazy. So there we go. That's the tier list. It's a short video because even though it's worth talking about, because it kind of shows that Games Workshop don't really understand what they've done to the teams, other than Old World Alliance, which they seriously know that they buffed. They don't seem to understand that they've killed Dark Elves, Dwarves, that they've made better Necro and Undead and Orcs, and they've murdered humans. They've killed rats. They don't seem to understand that Tomb Kings were always good. Like, Tomb Kings were always good. They're just not very popular. And now you've buffed them with the Brawler, so they don't have to take block to be stable, right? I mean, it's more stable for block, but Brawler's pretty good. So you can skip it and take 4 guard or 2 guard to Mighty Blow. They don't seem to understand that they've buffed Nurgle, and they really don't seem to understand that they've buffed Snotlings. I will scroll down as well, because the megastars are on this list before we end the video. Remember that star players, would someone say it's one star player point, 1 skill point for a star player, and 2 skill points for a megastar. And the megastar list is also just crazy that they don't understand what they've done. This is the megastar list. 5 megastars. 5. And 3 of them have been nerfed. Griff has been nerfed. Not only has Griff been nerfed, with his special ability being nerfed, he can't even play for halflings anymore. So there's no Grifflings. He's never being picked again. Like, you're not going to see Griff. Can't play for teams that would normally pick him. And he's also a megastar, so he costs more. Morg probably isn't getting picked. As good as Morg is, he's not worth that price, probably, now that there is no Mighty Blow +2. That you were literally just buying him for Mighty Blow +2. 3 dice blocks into Mighty Blow +2. Ivan is very weird to be on there. Wasn't on the megastar list before, I don't think. And Hackflem, they nerfed. They dropped him to movement 8. So no longer gutter runner speed. Hathark is the only one probably that should be on there. And there are very obviously missing ones, like Grak and Crumbleberry and Zolcath. So they don't know what they've done. That's pretty annoying, isn't it? That's probably the most annoying thing about this list, because, as I said, nobody uses it, really. You might get it in official tournaments at Warhammer World, but no tournament in the UK you go to will use this. So the biggest takeaway from it is that the people writing the rules don't know what they've done to the star players and teams, which is real, real bad. Yeah, the bombers, so the bombs were nerfed, right? So maybe they don't think they need to be out. Both bombers were nerfed with a price increase, and bombs themselves were nerfed slightly. So maybe they shouldn't be megastars anymore. Maple should be on the megastar list, sure. Maybe Estelle. But those are more, like, NAF tabletop rules. These are normally a bit more lenient, right? Because it's just for the casuals. But it's more that they just don't understand. Like, they just don't understand how good some of the star players they've made, how the nerfs actually affect whether people are going to take these and what they've done to the teams. That's really, really disappointing. Yeah, but like letting them take him isn't as game ruining. The thing that they nerfed bombs with, I believe, is that oh crap, I forgot what it is. It's the blow up thing, isn't it? If you catch it, you catch it now again. There's no roll to blow up if you catch it, right? Is that what it is? God damn it, I've forgotten. They buffed bombs with when you catch the bomb, there's a 4+ roll for it to blow up. That was a buff in 2020, and I think they took that away now. Bomber Dribblesnot has a once per game version of that, but it's once per game. I don't think he should be banned. Maybe he should be banned. Also, I don't know who he plays for anymore. I forgot to check who Bomber Dribblesnot now plays for. If it's just stunty teams, I don't care. Yeah, I think that is the nerf. Yeah, I'll double check it after. If Bomber Dribblesnot plays for Orcs, I could understand him being banned. That's the big problem, isn't it? Orcs with Bomber Dribblesnot. That was the problem before, it's the problem now. Cindy, humans and dwarves with Cindy are still humans and dwarves, and they're both rubbish in the new rules, so I don't care if Cindy's on the list. But if Orcs can take Bomber, he should be a megastar or just straight banned, which is what megastars are in most NAF tournaments. I guess I could put the FAQ on the end of this as well, because it's that. I hope I hope and pray that this gets changed. Like, because if that's the entire errata, oh boy. There are so many problems with the rules as written. Game-breaking problems. That they need an FAQ. Game-breaking problems. Agility +1 breaks the game. Sorry, 1+ breaks the game. Vampires are double nerfed. You can't hypnogaze if you start the activation prone, because prone people don't have the skill. Or trait, even. Like, so many things that just break teams, break players, break star players, break games because of badly written rules that everyone found immediately. And we were hoping that what would happen is there would be feedback. You know, they would take the time to read the feedback in the different places and issue a day one errata that had stuff on it. This is a day -1 errata that is just fixing a couple of typos, one of which we didn't even know was a typo. We just assumed they gave augurs secondary mutations. No one thought that was a typo. We just assumed that was a thing. Mighty Blow on the Renegade augur is obviously a typo. And the Halfling Hopeful thing was obviously a typo because you get 3 in the box. Why would it be 0 to 5? But yeah, 3 typos is not what we would expect in the day one FAQ. That's real bad. If we have to wait till May for another one, Blood Bowl's very broken for 6 months. Okay, that's the end of the video. Feel free to comment below if you disagree with me. Of course, I will tell you that you're wrong. This is nonsense. But it'll be fun telling you that you're wrong. And we will see you. I guess there's no more news to come, right? The game releases tomorrow. But if there is, hopefully maybe another FAQ and we'll talk about it. We will see you in the next video.